Hi guys, how you going? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to have a look at an excerpt from the latest All In podcast, hosted by Jason Kalinakis, David Sachs, David Freeberg, and Chamath. In particular, this is a bit of a quick excerpt in relation to a discussion between Chamath and Elon and the recession. Now, if you want, go check out the full podcast. It goes for well over 2 hours. I'm just segmenting out little bits and pieces, the key stuff in relation to, I suppose, Elon and Twitter and Tesla and so forth. So, in particular, with this one, this alludes to Tesla and then what's going on there. So, again, we'll get straight to the point and cover off sort of, I suppose, what Elon gets into. And there's, I suppose, one thing but he pretty much starts it off with, and it's again, hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and obviously referring to the impending recession in 2023. So let's have a look at this banter back and forth between CP and Elon, and then at the end, we'll actually ask the question, is Tesla actually recession proof?
Elon, let me ask you just a slightly broader question. One of the things we just talked about was the regime change that's happened, where we all have to act differently now that the risk-free rate is probably going to get to 5%. And I'm just curious, across all your businesses, so Twitter, yes, but really more importantly, Tesla, SpaceX, are there decisions that you will make differently or not at all, or will make that you wouldn't have made otherwise in this new regime? And how often do you think about that kind of stuff?
Well, I think it's more like it does seem like we're headed into a recession here in 2023. The magnitude of that recession is debatable, but I think it's at least a light to moderate recession. Potentially, it's on the order of 2009. So I think it's wise to kind of like prepare for the worst, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Don't get too adventurous. Like watch out for margin debt. Like I would really advise people to not have margin debt in a volatile stock market. And from a cash standpoint, keep powder dry. You can get some pretty extreme things happening in a down market. Like Brett Johnson, who was a CFO, who is a CFO of SpaceX, was at Broadcom in 2000, and he said that, and that's a good company making good products. And he said the from peak to trough, I think in less than 12 months, Broadcom went down 97%. So, like, even if you had a small margin loan there, you got crushed. It subsequently recovered, and I think to much higher levels. But if there's like mass panic in the stock market, then you got to really be careful about margin debt. So, but I mean, this is just as we know, the economy is cyclic. So and we're somewhat overdue for a recession. And my best guess is that we have sort of stormy times for a year to a year and a half, and then things start to dawn breaks roughly in Q2 24. If I were to get, that's like my best guess. Recessions don't like booms don't last forever, but neither do recessions.
And it's a 14-year boom, so a 6-quarter recession seems like that might actually balance out. The last time it was 4 or 5 quarters, so it's not easy. Hey,
Yeah, so based on Elon's gut, we're definitely heading to a recession in 2023. And it's going to be something probably similar to the 2009 recession, which was almost a little bit light to moderate, not terribly severe. And at the end of the day, the economy is quite cyclic. And based on Elon's thoughts, we're sort of overdue for a recession. And if you have a look at this chart here, the US recession probability model, you can pretty much see that sort of every, I suppose, 10 to 12 years that there is a recession. So we're definitely due for one. So the way I see it is there's probably three key takeouts from Elon's discussion, the way I see it. And it's, again, watch out for margin debt in the volatile stock market. And I dare say he's had many learnings in the past, and in particular, I suppose, thinking of Twitter in mind, the original Twitter financing package actually included about 13 million in margin loans. Hence, he's had to sell off quite a few shares of late, and I dare say that's in preparation for either the bank's requests now or into the future. But he has actually confirmed now that he will not be selling any more Tesla shares for the next 2 years, whereas he had stipulated previously that he had not planned to sell any more shares. And I think he was very, very specific with his wording, whereas now he's been again very specific again, and he has said that he will not be selling any more Tesla shares over the next 2 years. Point number two was from a cash standpoint. Again, keep your powder dry, and again, basically, in simplistic terms, again, maintain cash reserves in the event of economic stress. So again, a recession is economic stress in the year ahead. And when you're thinking of Tesla, I mean, currently, as of the 30th of September 2022, Tesla has actually cash reserves of over $21 billion. So I think from Tesla's point of view, they're in a really, really good position. And point number three is, again, pretty extreme things happen in the down market. And again, if there's sort of mass panic in the stock market, you need to be really, really careful about that margin debt. And we know there's a lot of panic out there at the moment in relation to Tesla shares and the way they've been plunging over the last year. At the end of the day, the fundamentals of the company are extremely sound. And again, if you're looking at Tesla in the short term, I think you're in a lot of trouble. But in the long term, it's going to come good. And again, I'm not giving any financial advice, but the fundamentals are definitely extremely sound. And then I suppose he summed it up at the end that probably the recession is going to be around until probably second quarter of 2024. So it's probably 1 to 1.5 year recession. So yeah. So the big question there is, I suppose, is Tesla recession proof? So let's, I suppose, cover off the facts, and then you can tell me what you think. Okay. So point number one, again, Teslas, as most EVs, again, minimal running costs. The Teslas are in extremely high demand, and during tough times, that's just only going to increase more and more so. So again, some countries are offering subsidies to buy EVs, in particular the US federal income tax credit of up to $7,500 per vehicle. But mind you, that is available across all EVs, so it's not limited to Teslas. But when Teslas are dominating the EV market in sales, and there is really very little comparison between the Teslas and what the others are offering as a complete package. Again, Tesla's extensive supercharging network and potential discounts there for usage. I mean, Elon being Elon, he used to say he could actually remove all supercharging fees. That would be absolutely huge. And again, with 21 billion in the bank, they could afford to do that for 12 months. It could be a deal as when you purchase your new Tesla, that you get free supercharging for either a period of time or the life of the vehicle. They've done that before in the past. There's no one else out there that can really offer that. You've also got then the ability for Tesla to sell FSD at reduced rates. Currently, it's $15,000 US. So again, what's to say he drops it to 10 grand or to 5 grand? So Tesla can offer low cost insurance with their vehicles. And then Tesla also can offer really, really deep price cuts to get production going across all their facilities. And again, they can even go to the point of even break even, although extremely unlikely. At the end of the day, Tesla currently produces its Model 3 for approximately $30,000 per car, which retails for $45K. Who's to say they wouldn't drop it to $30K to keep production going? So if demand did drop slightly, they could simply just drop prices, and that's how much margin there is in the vehicle. And again, with the Model Y, production cost is approximately $35K, and that retails for upwards of 60. So, and then the really, really big one, which no one else even comes close to, is the vertical integration of Tesla. And we're talking, in-house battery production. We're talking electric motor and powertrain production. We're talking, central control system, the ECU, infotainment systems. Tesla's producing their own chips now with the silicon carbide. Again, producing in-house seats, octovalve, heat pump, full self-driving algorithms, gigacasting. Gigacasting is an absolute huge one. So these are all massive pros in relation to Tesla. And I think probably the biggest one by far is, again, the highest manufacturing gross margins in the world. Upwards of 25 to 30%. We've got a trend here of revenue at the top, gross profit, and then gross margin. And you can see now revenues upwards of $74 billion, with a gross profit of $20 billion, and margins currently sitting at 26.61%. And that's just going to get better and better and better. So plus the cash reserves on top of that. So that's just going to keep building. And again, can any other EV producer easily offer any of the above? I think in the end, it's going to be a very, very tough year for a lot of the other OEMs out in the market. Not to say Tesla would be the last one standing, come June 2024. But at the end of the day, the Tesla has so much going for it, it's just not funny. And Tesla, I think, especially with the production facilities that they have in place, they're not going to worry about, I suppose, a year of less profits. And they'll want to grow it at all costs, basically. So, even though there's a recession ahead, Tesla is in an extremely good position. And, as Elon says, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Elon has definitely prepared for the worst. Anyway, that's it for me today. Again, I hope you like what you're seeing and hearing. Again, any feedback or any questions, drop them in the comments below. Again, spread the word, please. Get it out there. The channel is relatively young. So, yeah, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button. There'll be regular videos coming out every week. And I'll see you in the next one. All right. Cheers, guys.